CJ Stroud gets roughed up in a Halloween horror show last week on Thursday Night Football. The Texans come into the game without Nico Collins, but also news broke that Stefon Diggs is going to be missing the rest of the season due to a torn ACL. And that's a big blow to a Texans team that is already kind of struggling without Nico Collins so far. And CJ Stroud got roughed up, like I said, with taking 8 sacks against a Jets defense who has struggled through recent weeks, but has been able to take advantage due to a porous Texans offensive line. They suffered an injury to their left guard, who's going to be missing extended time for the season for this Texans team, and I thought that the Jets defense made CJ Stroud look mortal. He bursted onto the scene last year, being a Rookie of the Year, and could be the next face of the league. Well, I'm not going to say sophomore slump, because when you take away a quarterback's 1 and 2 options, and then he's missing some guys on this offensive line, especially on a short week, he's going to make some mistakes. He's going to look mortal, and the stat line doesn't look good. 11 out of 30 for not a lot of yards, most of that being force-fed to Tank Dell, who I think at this point is the only pass catcher outside of Dalton Schultz that really makes defensive coordinators cringe. But I thought the game plan also didn't work out for CJ Stroud either, where they were having success running the ball with Joe Mixon, who is recently back in the starting lineup, but I thought he was really effective, but somehow they just got away with it. But somehow they just got away from consistently running the rock. And Joe Mixon at this point is your best offensive weapon until Nico Collins comes back, and that's only going to take some pressure off of CJ Stroud at this point. So the Jets, meanwhile, they get a much-needed victory. I said last week that their season was over. This keeps the door slightly, ever so slightly open. I mean, you got some good things. Garrett Wilson makes an insane catch to essentially save their season. It's 3rd and long. Aaron Rodgers is deep in the pocket, throws it up, and while being an Adidas athlete, Garrett Wilson channels his inner jump man and catches the ball one-handed, gets his shin down, which is 2 feet in the NFL, just to be clear, and it was a touchdown. And Devontae Adams showed up as well, had a touchdown to essentially ice the game. Maybe this does something for the Jets. Maybe this triggers something. They get some momentum. The whole media has been getting on them, bashing them week in, week out. And yes, they had a 4-game losing streak coming into this game, and they're still not out of the woods, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get on the Jets bandwagon just because they beat the Houston Texans on a short week without their top 2 weapons. I need to see a lot more from this Jets team, but this is certainly something to take note of, and let's see what happens next week with the Arizona Cardinals.